A serial killer, as we define it in the FBI, is 3 or more victims.
Born in Connecticut on January 8, 1947, to Robert and Alice Bonin, William Bonin was the middle child to 2 brothers. His father was an alcoholic and a gambler and would often physically assault his children. As a child, he spent much of his time with his grandfather, a convicted child molester who often molested Bonin. In his early adolescence, Bonin was sent to juvenile detention for misdemeanors where he was sexually assaulted by older boys. After high school, he enrolled in the Air Force during the Vietnam War, where he claimed life was overvalued and sexually assaulted 2 other officers. In 1969, he pled guilty to the sexual assault of a 16-year-old boy. He was sent to Addis Cadro State Hospital due to being considered a mentally disordered sexual offender. Psychiatric evaluation revealed that he displayed traits of manic depression and had damage to his prefrontal cortex, which explained his inability to control violent urges. In 1975, he was once convicted again and sent to prison, where he claimed he would never go back because none of his victims would survive. Between the years of 1979 and 1980, bodies of young boys were found brutally murdered and raped along the Southern California highways. Unlike most serial killers, Bonin had accomplices. Vernon Butts, Gregory Miley, and James Monroe, who would often accompany him on his sprees. His victims consisted of hitchhikers and male prostitutes between the ages of 12 and 19. He would lure them into his second-generation Ford Ecoline van, where he would strangle his victims with nylon cords, t-shirts, rape them, and finally brutally murder them and dump them on the side of Southern California highways, hence the nickname the Freeway Killer. In 1980, there was a $50,000 reward put out for the Freeway Killer. A man named William Puth, who had accompanied him on one of his killings, confessed to knowing Bonin was the Freeway Killer. Investigators began surveilling Bonin and watched him attempt to lure 5 boys into his van before finally catching him attempting to rape a young boy in a desolate parking lot. Bonin was sentenced to death by lethal injection on February 23, 1993. Here are some of his victims.